Namaste. I see the divine in you as you see the divine in me. My name is Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, and I'm the designated channel for Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, and also the light grid programmer for Ka'airon. And they are here to bring through the greatest light ever, to bring us into love and peace, and to help us awaken to who we truly are. It is indeed a beautiful time, a time of enlightenment, a time of awakening for those who desire love and truth. However, it is not so wonderful for those who don't desire love and truth. For all things are changing, and for those who don't desire love and truth, they will need to understand too that things are very, very spiritual, and that we are moving towards a time when all things awaken, and all things are now taking place. And it is like Ka'airon describes quite aptly how he's shaking the earth with many earthquakes on a spiritual nature. And it is always so beautiful for the ones who are the lovers of light and truth to experience these teachings, especially when they see me live channeling, because then they experience the energies and they experience the love and the healings. So it is beautiful to meet everyone who's coming to the Divine Pineal Gland activations in January, to see me channel and to allow the greatest love to come to them. For it is all about healing and all about stepping into that greatness and all about understanding how beautiful we are. So before I close my eyes to allow Sovereign Lord Emmanuel to come through for you, I'm going to read out the forgiveness statement. And we all need to state forgiveness for everything in our lives, whether it is little things or big things, whether it is even things that we don't know what we need to forgive for. For everything that we forgive becomes released from us so that we can grow into more love and more peace. Ka'airon, I bring you now into my spaces of love and healing. I ask for your presence and for your love to be with me at this time. I forgive all that has caused my pain to happen. I release it now. I allow the angels to take it away for me. I bring in the love and the peace, and I desire to understand more joy and self-love. I surround myself with the highest loving divine beings who are here to take care of me. I let go of all fear within me. I release it. I trust that all things are perfect as they are. I'm ready to love myself and all of life more. Thank you, Ka'airon. Thank you, great divine love. Namaste, and thank you for being here too. Greetings and welcome. I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, and I state a warm welcome to all the brothers and sisters and sons and daughters in the greatest light. Happy is the one who sees the light arising. Happy is the one who hears these words being spoken. Happy is the one who sees the great mountain of light rising before them and desires the great healings to take place within them. Welcome all dear brothers and dear sisters, dear sons and daughters in the light. I am the great Lord sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. And 2,000 years ago, when my designated channel Jesus was speaking to the people understood that the Great Father was indeed teaching them. The words that came from his mouth were wise, and they learned to understand that all things are within them, and that nothing can exist outside of them. At first they did not understand that. They had trouble hearing that. Jesus, how can you state that all things are within us and that nothing is outside of us? And Jesus would state, all things exist within the divine thoughts of the Great Father. You also are a thought of the Great Father. So how can anything exist outside of the Great Father when nothing exists outside of the Great Father? For you are part of the Great Father. All things are within you. For there is no outer wisdom, there is only the inner wisdom. And when one learns to taste the goodness of the inner wisdom, then that one becomes truly rich. Rich with love, rich with wisdom, rich with greatness. The people 2,000 years ago did not understand spiritual richness, for they were immature with their learnings. They did not know the wisdom inside of themselves, for they only listened to wisdom outside of themselves. Wisdom that was not from the Great Father, but from their teachers. Their teachers, their religious or spiritual teachers, did not understand divine truth, for divine truth was not within them. They did not desire to hear Jesus speak about the Great Father. They did not desire to listen to the greater wisdom, for they only knew of the wisdom that was theirs to have. Who is this Great Father you are speaking with, Jesus? How come we cannot speak with the Great Father? How come we cannot have what you have? You are a mere man, Jesus. You are nothing special, and there you are, standing in the streets and having all these people around you, and they are listening. We stand in our preaching spaces. We are the learned ones with so much wisdom, and the people say to us, what a wise beings you are. We condemn you, Jesus, for you are to send your people to us. For you state that you have the Father, but we do not see your Father. The people see us. The people hear us preach. And that is far more important than listening to your Father. And Jesus stated, you believe you are wise. You state many things. You have burdened the people with the great laws. You have taken so much from them. You've stolen from the poor, and you state that you are more than the great Father in the great heavens. You state that you are wiser than the great eternal Creator who created all things. For how can you state that? You state many things, and yet you've placed so much fear within the people. They do not know which way to turn. When they listen to you, you confuse them. Confusion is not the way of the great Father, for the great Father gives direction, and the great Father gives freedom, whereas you give the burdens to the people. You condemn them. You give them punishment if they don't listen to your laws. How can you state you are wiser than the great Father who is love? As you can understand, there were many that did not desire Jesus to be present. I state as the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. Many people believe today that Jesus was a loved man, that Jesus was anything more than a man. But he never stated that I am a mere man. However, I have been sent by the great Father to bring these words through to you. There were many that did not want Jesus there, for they desired the worship for their own. They did not want the people to hear the divine truth. And yet, so many today believe that Jesus was so loved. Jesus stated, "What can a man do to my body? For they cannot touch what is within me. They may touch my physical body, but my soul they can never touch. For I am eternal, just like you all are." When the great Father desires to speak through me, I will not stay quiet. For it is the great Father who desires all to hear truth. And if I stay quiet as the messenger of the great Father, then much harm will take to the people. For the people will never know truth, and they will never understand the truth and the way and the life. For how can they grow to love the great Father if there is no messenger? How can they go to the great divine realms if the messenger refuses to speak? The Father searches for those who desire the higher path. The Father desires to search for those who are humble in the heart. The Father desires to speak to those who desire to find truth and love within their heart. And to the rest he will state, "Go away. You did not desire the ways of the divine. You did not desire to understand the highest truth. I never knew you. Get away from me. And as you can understand, the leaders did not like those very words. Jesus, no one tells us to go away. No one. We tell you to go away, but no one tells us to go away. And Jesus stated, but it is not for you to state that I can go away. For when the Father sends me to you with messages, then you must hear. Be happy that you hear, for one day you will regret not listening. For the great Father notes everything. He sees the people who desire to listen, and he sees the people who do not. It is the people who desire to listen that he brings into his great fold of love. But the people who do not desire to listen, he says, go away. You did not desire the love of my being, so I have no use for you. For you will bring only more pain upon the people. I am here to shepherd the people to the ways of love and truth. I am here to guide the people up to their freedom. You do not hold the love of the great Father within you. Otherwise you would feel this too. Otherwise you would say, Lord, what is it that I can do for you? What is it that I can do within myself to change so that I may love the people, so that I may guide the people to the greatness? But you, the leaders, do not want to do that. You want to keep the people to yourself. And the great Father says, bring the people to me so I may bless them. Are these words still applicable in your days at this time? At this moment, I have sent my designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, to your plane to bring through the divine messages just like Jesus did. And yes, she is also receiving the ridicule just like Jesus did. Jesus was not liked by everyone because the people were deaf with their ears. They did not desire the higher ways of love and truth, even though they stated they did. Now there is the same. The people who claim they love Jesus do not desire to listen to my being sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. I bring the greatest healings to the planet, and they do not desire to listen. They do not desire to change their ways of thinking. How can you bring about an earth filled with love and harmony when you do not desire to listen, when your ears are deaf? When you do not desire to understand that I, as the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have returned with my designated channel. And it is so that all things are written down, and all things are becoming fulfilled. Jesus stated, look, the Lord will rise once again. And when he does, will you be awake to it? Will you desire to take the torch of light? Or will you stay hidden in the caves and say, Lord, do not shine upon my face. I am afraid of your presence. I do not desire to open my heart to the love. I do not desire to have you talk to me. Jesus stated there are always two roads. The road of the freedom and the road of the pain, and the people who come onto the road of freedom will desire the great Father more than all things, for that is worth more to them than all the treasures they could have in their lives. For what good are treasures when they cannot bring spiritual nourishment, spiritual eternal happiness? The wise ones listen. The wise ones are awake to the great welcome of the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great when he states, "Welcome to the great times of the light rising." The people 2,000 years ago who heard Jesus speak like this raised up their hands and stated, "Jesus, I will be there when the great Lord rises. I am there." Now I state that as the great Lord Emmanuel the Great, I am here with my designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel. Are the people still there? So the great awakening flows are happening at this time, and they will continue to happen. You cannot stop what is divine, even though many will want to stop the rising of the light. It cannot, for all things must come about now. Look, the great light has returned, as was prophesied, to guide many people to the truth and the road of love and wisdom, and they will gather with many, shouting out with greatness, "We celebrate the light returning." We celebrate it within our hearts, for that is where our wisdom is within the heart, not outside of ourselves. It is where the treasures are found, within you. Go and search within the heart more. Go and open your heart and find if you are welcoming the higher ways of love and truth. Are you hearing the greatest welcome happening? Happy is the one who sees the love rising. Happy is the one who understands these divine words. Happy is the one who recognizes the divine messenger. Happy is the one who desires love and peace to flow upon your earth. Happy is the one who is awake to these times. Greetings, I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great.
Greetings.